And good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here today on Unfiltered Vision News, bringing you the news unfiltered Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern. And I'm your host, Dr. Ashaki Noni Nichols. I was actually looking up something because I thought about it yesterday. I was like, there's all these different protests and riots going on in Los Angeles. And I was like, the BET Awards happened yesterday in Los Angeles. So it's actually just trying to, like do a last minute, like, where at in Los Angeles? And so I'm just looking it up on my phone here really quick. They, fortunately, where they were located, I'm hoping they weren't located in the midst of it, but it seemed like they might have been like maybe a little bit on the outskirts of it. So I'm just hoping everybody got in and out of there safe. So I've got a few videos for you guys just to share with you some of the things that have been happening. If you are in the Los Angeles area, I hope you're safe. This is really crazy what's happening right now in our country, but these are things that I think people were expecting to happen, and they were preparing for them to happen. So let's just kind of recap a little bit, and then I'm going to go to some videos in Missouri because there are actually protests happening there as well. So as I like to say, let's get into it.
We can't be intimidated. We've got to get the people out. We've got to get the elected officials out. We've got to resist him.
And all you got to do to defeat this thing is to admit there's no way out of this but to stand up to it. Police, both local and federal, have been put in this position as the bad guys, drawn out after putting up with months of all sorts of provocation that so many people that either are operatives or aren't smart, that are fake populists, have like, Homa's not doing enough of a job. They ought to be out these demonstrations cracking skulls. No, it's a trap. Homa's doing the right thing. They know it's a trap. They're going to escalate to burning and killing and stealing and looting to make them come out because they then have to. And then when our defense forces come out, they are going to be set up with a false flag. They are going to mow down hundreds of people and blame our duly elected constitutional federal government.
Are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing. They'll take backpacks, and the backpack will have a cinder block in it. They have a hammer, and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw at officers, to throw at cars, and throw at other people.
Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation.
We can't have this in our city. Los Angeles is a city of immigrants where 50% of the population is Latino. A percentage of the populations are from Asian countries and from all over the world.
If immigration raids had not happened here, we would not have the disorder that went on last night. I will tell you that it is peaceful now.
This is about a global struggle against imperialism and capitalism. Yes. But we know that all of that is happening in the context that where we now stand is stolen, occupied Mexico.
U.S. Ambassador turned legal hatchet man Norm Eisen, he called the Trump administration a autocratic regime, and we have tools to displace autocratic regimes around the world in, people-powered revolutions. And this was the man who basically spearheaded nearly every lawfare putsch against Trump world for the past 8 years, for everything from the Trump impeachment to the J6 impeachment, sued the Trump administration hundreds of times. And he was the former U.S. ambassador to the Czech Republic for President Obama, and even wrote a playbook basically on how to orchestrate color revolutions against populist movements that were rising in Europe while he was at the Brookings Institution just a few years ago. And he's openly calling on live television to take that same playbook for overthrowing foreign governments and to find a way to implement it here.
You're going to jail, bro. What's the matter?
Officer, this gentleman is harassing me.
I'm not harassing him. I'm asking him questions.
Meet the most influential power couple you've never heard. The bride, director of protest movement Code Pink, has a long history in extremist left-wing public activism. The groom, though a multi-millionaire software mogul, is a radical Maoist who cut his teeth affiliating with various radical Marxist-Leninist groups in Detroit. But why should we care about the eccentricities of a far-left millionaire and his activist wife? Because they are marshalling their considerable resources and networks to do the bidding of some of the most anti-Western forces on Earth and to cause chaos around the world.
Congratulations to all the absolute geniuses out there in LA attacking federal agents. All that blue no matter who garbage you've been brainwashed with, that just don't matter no more because you're a felon now. You can't vote, you can't own a gun, you can't even get a decent job in most cases. All because you want to look tough in front of an ICE agent.
Trump came out and said, we're not bending the knee. In a new statement, we're going to double down federal forces, including the Marines. Because you got a communist, globalist, deep state uprising that is happening right now.
Okay, and that video was brought to you by InfoWars. I wanted to open with that video. Just those are clips, from the past few days that were done by John Baum. Thank you, John Baum, for doing that video. So there was a lot to unpack there, because this is, the dismantling of our country. Now, there was a short clip in there where you saw a map of the United States, and it had a lot of blue dots on it, and then it had red stars on it. And then after that, you saw the screenshot of a website called No Kings. So we're actually going to get into it, and we're going to go through that website and see what No Kings is all about. So the next video that I'm going to show is of a reporter, CNN reporter in Missouri, who actually got arrested during the protests/riots there. So let's give it a look.
Is not lost in this, as we're seeing these remarkable pictures with this law enforcement presence directly behind you, is the why.
Oops.
Why people have been out.
Sorry, guys.
Protest.
Let me add it back to the stage.
Why
there you
this
go.
violence is taking place. There is some action behind you. Hang on.
Yep. We've got one person being arrested here. We've got. We're meeting. Yep, we're good. Yep. Hold on. I got you. Hold on. They had us here. We're speaking with State Patrol right now. Give us a second, guys. We can move back to where you'd like. We can move back to where you'd like here. We are live on the air at the moment. This is the four of us. We are one team. Just put us back where you want us. We are getting out of your way, so just let us know. Wherever you'd want us, we will go. We are just getting out of your way when you're advancing through the intersection. So just let us know, and we got you. And this is a scene here playing out in Minneapolis. This is part of the advanced police presence that we saw come over the course of really minutes when the local police showed up at the fire department, or with the fire department, I should say, on that building we showed you that was burning. This is among the State Patrol unit that was advancing up the street, saying and scattering the protesters at that point for people to clear the area. And so we walked away. I'm sorry? You're under arrest. Okay. Do you mind?
Omar Jimenez being led away by police officers. He clearly identified himself as a reporter. He was respectfully explaining to the state police that our CNN team was there and moving away as they would request. And then for some reason, he was just taken in to police custody live on television. I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, Allison. I just wanted to listen to see if we could hear more from the officers, the state police, as this is going on.
Yeah. We're trying to see what's going to happen, John, obviously, to the rest.
I'm about to, guys. We were just out here reporting the closure of the streets. They just, Omar was just arrested. I believe they're about to, we're all about to be arrested. That's
Yeah, so they're arresting all of them. Yeah, they're just doing it one at a time. I mean,
I'm probably going to be taken in a minute.
Our CNN camera crew and our producer are being arrested right now on live television in handcuffs.
I've never seen anything like this.
No.
Guys,
Allison.
Why are you arresting us? I mean, we're just passing along the message, your message. I'm done. You know, we're just out here doing our job as well as you all. Can you tell me what are... Are you under arrest? Okay. I'm being arrested now. I gotta put. Can I put the camera down?
If you're just tuning in, this is our camera crew, our CNN camera crew, being arrested by the Minneapolis State Police. We believe the camera is now on the ground because our cameraman has been handcuffed. Our correspondent, Omar Jimenez, was also led away in handcuffs, as was his producer. They were standing where they were told to stand previously by police. They were out of the way. We don't know why they're being arrested. They're not being given any explanation, as far as we can hear, for why they're being arrested. We don't know why they're being handcuffed and led away. They are allowed to be reporting on the unrest that's happening right now, but for some reason, the state police have decided that they need to be under arrest.
And just to be clear, Allison, having been in the middle of protests like this, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. The camera is being walked away now. I don't know if this camera is still in the hands of our photojournalist or whether the police officer, yeah, this is the police carrying our camera right now, frankly not aware that it's still rolling. We have been listening in, and our team there has not been given any explanation for why they have been taken into custody. And I just want to be clear, if you were watching what Omar was saying and listening to his reporting, he was explaining what had happened over the last few hours and how law enforcement was arriving on the scene and how they had dispersed the crowds largely and how for the first time there was order in the scene. Nevertheless, taken into custody, our camera now on the ground, still rolling, still capturing these live images.
Wow. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and stop that one. But, you know, pretty interesting stuff. You know, normally they do allow press in certain areas, right? As long as they're not going to be in harm's way, because they don't want, you know, the police are there to do a specific job to, you know, protect the property and other various citizens. But, you know, they also don't want journalists in harm's way where they would have to do something that would deter their forces to have to protect them as well, right? But that is the first time that I've ever seen journalists arrested, like on site. Like, okay, you didn't leave the area the way you were supposed to. But again, they thought they were cleared to be in that area because there are specific areas where they will allow journalists, like I said before. So this is going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. And again, that was in Minnesota. Was it? Yeah, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I thought it was Missouri. Sorry. The next video that we have is, and this will be the last video I show, and then we'll get more into the news. But this is Los Angeles. Okay, so this is, I think this is today, this morning, because they're 3 hours ahead. So it's like 4 a.m. I don't know, it might not be. But to any avail, this is some footage from Los Angeles, and I want you guys to just see some of the devastation that's happened there.
As near Union Station, where looters hit multiple businesses. Rick?
Yeah, and there's also those Waymo cars, 5 of them that were burned, destroyed right here on Los Angeles Street. We're just a few blocks away from where Cara is on the other side of the 101. So this is Los Angeles and Arcadia Street, and you see the remains of these Waymo cars. These are the automated, all-electric rideshare vehicles that were set on fire by some people in the crowd yesterday, and quite a sight to see. I mean, you could even still smell everything out here when you're really close to it. We have some video to show you from SkyCal when these cars were burning, set on fire yesterday in the afternoon.
Yeah, so this was from
so that
yesterday.
was quite a sight to see as well. Very dangerous because these cars are
And those cars were
all-electric.
burned on
These
Sunday.
batteries burn very hot and for a long time. It took a while before we saw LAPD, or LAFD, I should say, come in to try and put these fires out. We also have video to show you from later in the evening. So this was after sunset. Jordan Studio 23, that's on Broadway and 6th. The store there was looted. The front door, a glass door pulled down, that glass shattered. Inside, it appears that the store was ransacked. Also, the T-Mobile over on Broadway and 3rd. In the video, you see LAPD standing outside the store. There's a couple of people outside as well. But same thing, it looks like either windows or doors were smashed in. And then a few blocks down at Broadway and 8th, the Adidas store also hit by looters. Broken glass, ransacked merchandise. LAPD this morning saying that if any businesses or stores were vandalized, damaged, had things stolen from them, they should file a report with LAPD Central Division. They should be documenting those, the damage and vandalism as well, so they can submit that into their police report. By the way, we've reached out to Waymo as we come back to these live pictures of these burned out cars here. We reached out to Waymo to try and figure out if they had stopped service in downtown LA yesterday. We were hearing that that's what happened after seeing these cars set on fire. It appears the cars were ordered out here to Los Angeles Street with all 5 of them lining up here. But we still have not heard yet from the company itself on what exactly happened yesterday, what they will be doing today, whether if there are more protests, if there's going to be any other interruption in service at all. So we're working to get those details as well. Not clear either when these cars will be cleared out of here, but the debris still in the street. The road, though, not closed right now. We haven't seen much in the way of road closures around our area, but we'll be keeping an eye on things to let you know as soon as we get new information. Back to you.
It is quite the scene out there. Rick, thank you for that.
Yeah, so it's a sad state of affairs. So that video was actually covering Monday morning. Those cars were burned between, I guess I would say Sunday night and Monday morning, if that makes any sense. So the people of Los Angeles, I mean, this is a predicament. You know, I grew up in Garden Grove, California, which is about 45 minutes south of LA. And, you know, during my adult life, I lived in Hollywood. I lived in Burbank, North Hollywood, certain parts of Los Angeles. I got to live on Pico and Wilshire, somewhere around there. Or I'm sorry, Pico and La Cienega. And I never got caught up in anything violent, because the only thing violent that had happened during that time, in that time frame, were the LA riots. And that was in, you know, the early 90s. And that was after the whole thing that happened with Rodney King, right? When that video was released, and then the officers, you know, they were released, you know, for what happened. And, you know, tensions got high. But then when they later found out that a lot of the protesters that had happened, that were there, weren't even from LA. But they were there, and they tore apart that part of Los Angeles, which is Baldwin Hills, which is predominantly a Black American area. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people know that history or that background. But where they are right now in the downtown Los Angeles area and on the outskirts, where the ICE facility is located closer to Compton, not closer to downtown Los Angeles, that area is predominantly Hispanic. And I'm going to, show another video. I'm going to preface this video. There's cursing. Okay. So I don't want you guys to be like, oh my gosh, my ears. When I saw it, I was like, okay, I know he's cursing. He's making a good point though. He definitely is making an argument for what's going on. I'm definitely grateful that the National Guard was called out to assist the police officers and sheriffs because it's overwhelming. I was sharing with some individuals on a space yesterday. There's roughly about 10 million people just in the metropolitan area of Los Angeles. That's outside of, the county, just the city part. And so, when you think about, oh, there's 2,000 National Guard, that's a lot. No, it's not. Not compared to 10 million people, right? I'm sure they had a few 100,000 people that were out yesterday, and it's still going on. Like I woke up, I get up early to do this show. Obviously, I start at 7, but I was up at 4 a.m. and it was 1 o'clock in the morning in LA, and they were still going. They still had protesters on the streets, even though they said this is an unlawful protest area. You need to disperse. People were still not dispersing, or they were just going to different areas. So, yeah, they are, as they say, testing the love. They really, really are testing the love. But like I said, I wanted to play this video for you guys. If you want to turn away, because there is a lot of cursing in this video. I'm just letting you know, and I don't have the little bleep sound machine to let it go, but I wanted you guys to at least get the gist of what this person is saying, just to get a little bit of a better understanding of the mindset that is out there. Oops. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. I won't use the language that he did, but he's not wrong. This country gave you the freedoms to protest and defecate on it. A choice needs to be made. If you want to be here, you need to be a supporter of America. But the reason why we have this is so many people came over here and they were allowed to come here without being vetted, without being naturalized. They have no respect for the country. So it's one of those things. Can we even go back and demand that these people respect the United States when they were basically told, you don't have to respect the United States. You don't have to respect the laws. And if you commit a crime here, we're going to let you back out on the street anyway. Yes, that happened all over the country. Happened in Illinois, happened in New York, happened in California. I'm pointing those three out because those are the ones that are sanctuary states and cities. Just saying. You've brought like an army of people here to destroy the country. How are you going to hate somewhere that you live in and demand, wait a minute, and demand respect? No, it's not going to work that way. There were a lot of people that did come here. There's some other people that came here illegally, grateful to be here, don't want to break any laws. They're like, what are you doing? We've been given a privilege to be over here, even though they came over here illegally. They did not do it the right way. And a lot of those people did self-deport before these riots started happening. Good for you. I'm glad you left. Now work on coming here the right way. But see, if you got deported now, you're not going to have the opportunity to come back. And I think that's why a lot of people are probably a little bit more angry. Because, yeah, the foot has to be put down. You can't come over here from another country committing more crimes and then demand to be here. That's not working. You're not going to come here from another place and then tear our place up and say, you have to let me stay. No. And then for those that are here, like he said, he was given different names of people. It's like, you are not from these other places. You are from Burbank, or you were born here in America, and you have a Hispanic heritage or a Latin heritage. To you guys that are out there promoting this and supporting this, shame on you. Literally shame on you. Pick a side. And if you don't want to be here in America, that's fine. You can leave. You can leave. I am all for deporting people who don't want to be here. I am all about it. You can leave. Like that gentleman said, these protests are going to be the reason why a lot of people leave the Democrat Party. But we're going to get into some other organizations that are planning even more events this week, predominantly happening on June 14th. But I wanted to just get a little bit more into the dispute between President Donald Trump, and Newsom, their dispute over Trump's order to deploy the National Guard. Now, this came out yesterday. And so, in summary, California Governor Gavin Newsom and President Donald Trump are in dispute over the president's order to deploy the National Guard to Los Angeles to deal with unrest following immigration and customs enforcement raids on Friday. So, a lot of this kicked off because there were raids. These are things that Tom Homan has been talking about since the president got in office. So Tom has been talking about this since January of this year, actually even before January. He was like, yeah, when President Trump wins, we're going to handle all of this. So people knew it was coming. And these raids, a lot of people were saying, oh no, innocent people are getting caught up. No, they're not innocent. They're actually people that are criminals that are hiding in our country, and they're still committing crimes. Those are the people that they are targeting. They are targeting specific people. And I know that there was somebody, there was a video I watched where somebody complained that there was a whole family that was detained by ICE. Well, they all came here illegally, and they are all going to get deported together, okay, as they should. You're here illegally. But if that family was swathed up by ICE, trust me, there was an investigation on that family, and I highly suspect that there was some criminal activity going on there, because that's what ICE predominantly does. They are rounding up the criminals, okay? And people say, well, other people are here innocently. They just crossed the border. Well, if you cross the border illegally, you are still a criminal. you have still committed a crime. And yeah, if you get caught up with some of these other individuals that are hardened criminals, yeah, you're going to get deported too. You are, because you shouldn't be here. We have immigration laws. Follow the laws if you really respect the country. But if you're here illegally, you don't respect the country. You need to go home. Period. You need to go home. Now, Trump deployed 2,000 California National Guard soldiers, as early on Sunday after ICE agents were reportedly attacked while conducting deportation raids. Newsom has demanded that Trump rescind the decision and has accused him of acting like a dictator. He also told MSNBC that leans left in an interview on Sunday that California was planning to sue the administration on Monday. On Monday afternoon, 700 U.S. Marines were also deployed to LA. You know why they had to be deployed? Because there was no order still in the city of Los Angeles. Newsom, you have no control of your state. That's why President Trump had to call in the National Guard. I watched the videos. I saw where the National Guard literally had to make a entranceway for the ICE workers to do their job so that the vans could get in and out of the facility to do their job. These people weren't peacefully protesting far off in the distance. They were blocking traffic. They were getting in the faces of the National Guard, calling them Nazis, while they're defending them. They're like, we're trying to make sure we're here so you don't get injured. Right? So if something pops off, you're okay. But we also have to protect the ICE agents that are just here doing their job. The defacement on buildings saying F ICE and kill the pigs and kill ICE and America with the 3 Ks in it, this needs to stop. And I'm so glad that Karen Bass brought up one really great point. Anybody who's tagged these buildings, who's thinking they've gotten away with it, they haven't. You're on candid camera. They have cameras in triplicate around those buildings for a reason. And so if you did any tagging, you'll be found. Trust me. They will come to your house, knock on your door. They will find you. Investigations will be started. All right. And if they have to call in extra manpower from other surrounding counties and cities in the state of California, they will. Because they're going to have to. Because they don't have all of the manpower there in the city of Los Angeles and the greater Los Angeles area, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a failed state. Unfortunately, that's why the National Guard was called in. And there was another time National Guard was called in. I've got to find the video, but they were called in Alabama when that whole integration thing was going on, and they needed to protect the students that were being bused to go to the different schools. Okay, we got to go back, to the 60s when that happened, but that happened. And they were there to protect those that were going to school, but also the general public. Because even though, yes, there were people yelling and screaming at that students going in, they had to create a barricade of safety. Because there were also other students that weren't Black American students that they didn't want to get injured. So these are things that do happen, and they've happened in our nation's history before. And Lyndon B. Johnson had to call in the National Guard over the governor that was there at that time to take control of what was happening on the ground. Just saying. This is what's happened. So Trump issued an order on Saturday that read, in light of these incidents and credible threats of continued violence, I direct and delegate actions as necessary for the Secretary of Defense to coordinate with the governors of the states and the National Guard Bureau in identifying and ordering into federal service the appropriate members and units of the National Guard under this authority. Now, what people are hanging their hats on is to coordinate with the governors. Now, Gavin Newsom is claiming that there was no coordination, that the president just overrode and said, I'm taking control of the situation. I'm bringing in the National Guard. Okay. So why would President Trump do this? I would say, and this is just my assumption, he did this because those federal employees under ICE still fall under his jurisdiction. He is the commander-in-chief over the military. He had to make sure that they were safe. And I'm telling you, if the National Guard had not been there, the sheriff department and the local police department would not have been able to hold off those people. It was disgraceful. The people of Los Angeles, if you can hear me, you are a disgrace to the country. You are a complete disgrace. You have completely made our country look like a banana republic, look like blight. What are you doing? What do you, F ICE? Oh, because you don't want people to get deported? Well, they shouldn't have come here illegally. And guess what? I don't want my tax dollars being used to keep them here. I don't want my tax dollars being used, period. For them, period. I want them gone. I don't want my tax dollars giving them housing or food or clothing or anything, because that's our money going to them, to support them, to support people that are here illegally and don't care about the country. And even if they did, they still broke the law. You need to go home. This needs to be over. So people supporting this illegal activity, yeah, you can go with them to whatever country they're in, and y'all build that up and have a great time over there. That's all I'm saying. Don't come over here with that. No, because it just looks like a lot of entitlement to me. You're entitled because, see, when you go home, you're going to have running water and a toilet and, stable housing. A lot of these people, they came from nothing and they've been given what they've been given. And now they feel entitled to it. Like, how dare you take it away? Well, you came over here illegally and you shouldn't be here. We have a way to be in this country legally, and that's what you need to do. So Newsom's response. Newsom told MSNBC, Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. Ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard, an illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act of Trump's order, he said it specifically notes that specifically notes they had to coordinate with the governor of the state, which I just read to you. They never coordinated with the governor of the state. We have no problem working collaboratively in a mutual aid system with local law enforcement, but there's a protocol. There's a process. He didn't care about that. And the worst part, he completely lied. Okay, so he lied. But Gavin, where you at? Where are you at, Gavin? Do you agree that the National Guard should be there? Because that's where that's where I'm getting at. Do you care about the ICE agents that are in your state? I'm just saying. Do you agree with the raids that are going on? Because you're not talking about that. You're trying to have a spat with Donald Trump. But do you agree that those ICE agents need protection from the mob that was there? Yeah. And by the way, Maxine Waters was also there saying, I don't know. Are they here to shoot people? Ma'am, you are a House representative. And the jurisdiction that you are over in the city of Los Angeles has unfortunately failed. It's failed. And you are a part of this problem. You are. Because you support illegal immigration. You did. I was in a space last night and people were saying, well, we shouldn't diminish what Maxine Waters has contributed. Okay, she's contributed some things. She has. She hasn't really supported the Black community, but she's expected the Black community's vote. She's enriched herself. She's got a few houses. Her husband has gotten enriched by getting millions of dollars in contracts. We don't talk about that part because we shouldn't say the quiet part out loud, right? But yeah, Miss Waters, she was in support of people, surging the border. She supported that. She supported all of these people coming here illegally during the Biden administration. Yes, she did. She's okay with this. She's okay with it because she voted for it. It's who she is. She's going to go where the money is, obviously. But it is time for her to retire. She's 86 years old. I'm looking forward to her losing in 2026. I don't know who's running there in California in 2026, but I need you to run for office because Maxine Waters needs to go. So, let's see. This is how the media covered it. So Summer 4 that leans left predominantly noted this is the first time that federal troops have been deployed on domestic soil against the wishes of state authorities since 1960s. Remember, I just shared about the Alabama. The Hill, which is in the center, described the move as one with little precedent in U.S. history. Fox News on the right framed the dispute through Newsom and Trump's different interpretations of the 1878 Posse Comitatus Act. Yeah. So, it's still a sad situation. We still have people that have been injured. We've got destruction of property. I'm hoping that the police and sheriff presence and the presence of the National Guard and Marines help to taper some of it. But there were still, as you saw, in the videos that I shared with you, there were still some businesses that got broken into, right? And had their merchandise stolen. If you're out there, protesting ICE, why are you breaking in? Why are people breaking in and stealing things? Yeah, it's those things. And a lot of people will come back and say, well, it wasn't the protesters that were doing it. It's not their fault. Yeah, whatever. Stop that. You've created the powder keg. This has been created. So we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to look at the nokings.org and their upcoming events for June 14th. This is Unfiltered Vision News, and I will see you guys on the other side.
At All Sides, we believe unbiased news doesn't exist. To get more clicks and make more money, media outlets often report news with a left, right, or sensational slant, either to suit their own agenda or because by telling us what we want to hear, we'll come back for more. Several news outlets in the center do a good job of portraying both sides equitably, but for the most part, American news media is biased. Bias isn't necessarily a bad thing. The key is to get multiple perspectives. But making matters worse, social media and internet search results are heavily filtered, showing us the most popular opinion or results that match our preferences and make us happy. That means we're all living in filter bubbles, where we're only exposed to viewpoints we already agree with, making us less informed and less tolerant of different people and ideas. At All Sides, we give bias ratings for hundreds of media outlets. By freeing people from filter bubbles and providing different perspectives, we can all be better equipped to understand the world and each other. So how do we do it? All Sides has created a patented, fair, transparent process to rate the media bias of hundreds of news outlets and writers. We assess each media source and rate them as far left, center, lean right, or far right, allowing you to quickly identify different perspectives. All Sides is constantly evolving our media bias engine. The more you participate, the better our ratings will be, and the better our news coverage will be. Go to allsides.com to get involved.
And we are back with Unfiltered Vision News. My name is Dr. Ashaki Noni Nichols, and I will be your host of Unfiltered Vision News, bringing you the news unfiltered 7 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. And so, as promised, we are going to check out what is called No Kings. Now, you guys may have heard some of this on the internet. You may have seen it on X. You may have seen this on YouTube, or you may have not heard of it at all. Okay. So, no kings, and I will just read what they say. In America, we don't do kings. They defied our courts, deported Americans, disappeared people off the streets, attacked our civil rights, and slashed our services. The corruption has gone too far. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. So that is their stance, right? That's the stance about no kings. And let's look at what they're about. Let me see. Oh, we're just going to go. They're going to have a Rise Up event on June 14th. And you can find out about their event on the map near you. And so these are all of the areas where they're going to be having events, including DC. Okay. No kings. Interesting. They have upcoming calls and trainings. There was a call yesterday. There's going to be another call today with the town hall. They're enjoying AFT President Randy Warrington for a special town hall to prepare for No King's Day on June 14th. Okay. Now, what I find fascinating, especially when it was like, okay, we don't want to do kings. Okay, I get it because we don't have a monarchy. Okay. Yeah, we don't have a monarchy. We have a president. But what I found fascinating is their stance, right? I'm like, okay, so about them. So on June 14th, Flag Day, President Trump wants tanks in the street and a made-for-television of dominance for his birthday, a spectacle meant to look like strength. But real power isn't staged in Washington. It rises up from everywhere else. No Kings is a nationwide day of defiance. From city blocks to small towns, from courthouse steps to community parks, we're taking action to reject authoritarianism and show the world that what democracy really looks like. Now, I'm going to stop right there. We are a republic. We are not a democracy. And it chaps my hide every time I hear people say stuff like this. We are a republic. On the Constitution, it says we the people. So this right here is a rhetorical conversation and lets me know that these people really don't care about America. But let's read on. We're not gathering to feed his ego. We're building a movement that leaves him behind. The flag doesn't belong to Donald Trump. It belongs to us. We're not watching history happen. We're making it happen. On June 14th, we're showing up everywhere he isn't to say no thrones, no crowns, no kings. Okay. And then they give their contact information. What I wanted people to see is the people that support No Kings. And here's some of their partners. Let me see if I scroll down. I had to wait for them to come in. So here's some of their partners. I guess it's 501. Okay. Well, I do recognize the ACLU. That's one. I recognize Bernie Sanders. So that means that socialism backs you. Then the ARC, Jewish Action. So you've got some Jewish, and they're in California as well. So you've got some Jewish organizations that support you. Take Action. Pride. Okay, so you've got the LGBTQ community. They support you too, and they're a cult, by the way. So you've got some really good support going for you here. Okay, of course you got the Dems. So you got that. You got them. You got that support. Okay. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for any Republican organizations or any, just center organizations that support you because see, we already know where these organizations stand and how much they hate the country. We get it. They do hate the country. They do. Okay. We got you. We got you. Kamikaze. Okay. Now, let's see. Anybody else? Yeah. Yeah, these are mostly democratic organizations that hate the country. Okay. Got it. All right, we got it. Yep, you guys do not like us. You don't like people who like freedom. You don't. A lot of these organizations are against freedom. They like socialism though, and they like communism, but they don't like freedom. They really don't. They don't like freedom. They don't stand up for people. Put it that way. They say they do. They really do. Oh, there we go. Planned Parenthood, guys. Planned Parenthood. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to know where you stood. That's all I'm saying. Because knowing that Planned Parenthood is one of the supporters of this, they hate life. They want to destroy all life everywhere. Margaret Sanger, and guess where she put most of her buildings? In Black neighborhoods. She hated Black people. She was racist. Did not want Black people at all. She wanted to make sure that Black women, first and foremost, were targeted and told, hey, you need to be able to live your life and be independent, and a baby will just get in the way. Why aren't there Planned Parenthoods in Beverly Hills, Martha's Vineyard? Why aren't they in the good areas? Oh, yeah, that's right, because that's not who you're targeting. This was war, soft war, but still war nonetheless. You want to kill off babies from a particular demographic. That's why they're there. But that is who supports this organization. So that's enough to tell me who you really are. No kings. You don't care about humanity. You don't care about people, period. Y'all are about destroying the country and destroying humanity along with it. Again, some of these organizations on the face, they look like they're, supportive and they want to do the right thing. No. And then I wanted to look at these 5501 events. So what's that about? 5501 events, but you can go there and I guess find out about more about their events that are going on. Here's the June 14th event that they've run. You can host an event, you can find a group. So there's definitely a lot of anti-American coordination going on in our country. These people hate us. They truly do hate America. Now, I wanted to check out this article as well. And this was from May 30th. So no kings, anti-Trump protest is planned for June 14th. See 22 Georgia cities participating. So this is here in my state that this is going to happen in, as well as these other places. So June 14th is said to be a busy day with Flag Day, President Donald Trump's birthday, and now No King's Day. This is a nationwide movement against Trump and his upcoming military parade. With events in Georgia and the rest of the United States, here's what we know and what's happening in D.C. Trump is planning a lavish military parade on June 14th, which marks the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary and is Trump's 79th birthday. It will include 7,500 troops, 120 vehicles, 50 aircraft on the streets and in the skies of Washington, D.C., according to a planning document seen by USA Today. The parade and a series of related events in D.C. beginning next week will cost $45 million. Okay. And look, I'm okay with it. At least I know it'll be a celebration that's about America. And I know everybody's like, oh my gosh, how can you say that? How can you? Because we spent billions of dollars on people that shouldn't even be here. We spent $12 billion on minor, unaccompanied minor aliens. We set aside $12 billion to traffic babies, human traffic children. Under the Appropriations Act of 2021, we spent over $12 billion. Human trafficking children. Oh, yeah, they used your money to do it. Don't just sit here acting like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Believe it. And you want to make a fuss about $45 million? You can miss me with that. You can miss me with that whole thing. Because most of these babies, we might not find them because they're probably dead. But oh yeah, our U.S. government, we did that. Under HHS, under Mayorkas. You did it. You knew children were being abused. You knew they were being raped. You knew they were being kidnapped, and you still did it. And you protected the people that were doing it. And you used our tax dollars to do it, which was even worse. Oh, yeah, you can miss me with your faux outrage about this $45 million. You can miss me. Stop that. Find the babies. Do something useful with your time. So the public perception around this parade has been incredibly mixed. While some view this as a show of strength or national parade, Marcus Schiller, the CEO of a German aerospace and security company, echoed what many of Trump's opponents feel. There's definitely a correlation between putting on a military parade and an authoritarian regime. These parades are about sending message to other countries and also to domestic political rivals. Okay, we are celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Army. We can't celebrate that. We can't celebrate that. That really? He's not just doing it to do it. You're juxtaposing it with his birthday because they just happen to fall on the same day. But we can't celebrate our military, a branch of the military that my husband retired from. We can't celebrate that. Okay. All right. So what is No King's Day? No Kings describes itself as a nationwide day of defiance by multiple groups, including Indivisible, 501, and Stand Up America. The flag doesn't belong to Donald Trump. It belongs to us. We're not watching history happen. We're making it. Organizers said on the No Kings website. On June 14th, we're showing up everywhere he isn't to say no thrones, no crowns, no kings. Okay, honor migrant labor. No, not. They need to go home. Every single one of them need to be deported. We are No Kings events happening in Georgia. Where are No King events happening in Georgia? Each event will look different depending on who is organizing it. Some may be simply flag waving rallies, while others will be marches or full on sign waving protests. More than 20 are confirmed in Georgia. So it's going to be happening in Albany, Georgia from 10 to noon, Athens from 5 to 7, Atlanta from 10 to 10 till noon at Liberty Square. No cakes for False Kings, Atlanta 1 to 4 at Atlantic Station, the Bridge Overpass. In Augusta from 9 to 2, Brunswick from 3 to 8, Columbus from 9 to 11. In Douglas, Georgia, it'll be from noon till 2. In Fayetteville from 3 to 4:40. In Forsyth County from 1 to 2. In Gainesville from 3 to 4. Greene County from 11 to 1. In Griffin from 10 to 11:30. And Macon from 10 to noon. And in McDonough, where I live, from 12:30 to 2 o'clock near the McDonough City Hall. Wow. Wow. Okay, but I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked or surprised because McDonough has a large Democrat footprint, I should say, within the city. The majority of the city council members and commissioners are of the Democratic Party. So I'm not shocked that this is happening here. Sorry. Savannah, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. In Statesboro from 10 to 12. St. Mary's from 3 to 6. In Swanee from 2 to 4. In Tucker from 11 to 3. In Valdosta from 2 to 3. In Waycross from 9 to 11. And in Woodstock from 2 to 4. Yeah. It's just sad. But you know what? We live in a country where we have the First Amendment and we actually have the right to petition our government if we're not happy with certain things going on. We have the right to state our grievances, I should say. If we disagree, we've got the right to go out there and do it. Now, what I'm hoping is that all of these rallies or, where they're stating their opinions and protests or whatever, that they are peaceful, that they do not turn into anything violent or destructive. Because see, I like the McDonough Square and it is beautiful, and I don't want to see it destroyed by nonsense, by bad actors. That's what I don't want to see. Yeah, I disagree with everything that's going on with this whole No Kings movement because it's very anti-American, in my opinion. But guess what? You have the right to state your case. And there might be people that agree with your cause, and there might be people that disagree with your cause. I just want you to be respectful. There better not be a window broken. There better not be a piece of trash left on the street. You better clean up behind yourself. I'm just saying. Don't come to my backyard, literally, and do anything silly. Don't do it. I'm just telling you right now. Not here. Not in this town. Okay? I'm not about it. I'm not about it. And with that, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at another group that was mentioned in the article to see the co-founder of that organization. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on Unfiltered Vision News, and we will see you on the other side.
We've unified our end-to-end encrypted services to make them easier to use together, because privacy should be the default for everyone. With the new Proton ecosystem, you can add events to Proton Calendar automatically when you accept an invitation. Easily share large files with a secure Proton Drive link. Send secure Proton Drive links privately with Proton Mail.
And we are back with Unfiltered Vision News, bringing you the news unfiltered Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern. And I'm your host, Dr. Ashaki Noni Nichols. And so we're going to be checking out an organization called Indivisible. In that article that I read to you, just stating the different areas where No Kings are going to have these events on June 14th, they mentioned one of the organizations, and that organization is indivisible.org. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to play for you the video of one of the co-founders. His name is Ezra Levin, and I will play that video for you now.
He's all powerful and that you're powerless.
he's wrong. Look, I'm Ezra. This is Leah. We're the co-founders of Indivisible, and we are working with local Indivisible leaders all over the country who are building up power to fight back against his unconstitutional, cruel, chaotic power grab.
Indivisible is a grassroots movement. It is led by regular people all over the country. We are building the power to stop Project 2025, to protect our friends and our neighbors and our values, to make sure Democrats find their spines when they turn to jelly, and ultimately to beat these guys. It's a grassroots-led movement, and it is grassroots funded too.
That's right, grassroots funded. So if you want to see more of this fight out throughout the country against what this administration and Congress is trying to do, throw in a few bucks. Help us support this movement. Thank you.
Okay. So that was a little bit about Indivisible. And they are, to their claim, a grassroots organization, right? And you can donate to them. As you can see, there's ways to donate here. It says, "We fight on together. Our democracy is under threat. We are a republic." Again, like I said, chaps my hide. But we will not yield to fascism. Interesting. And we're going to look up that word fascism because it's thrown around a lot. We will stand together and fight back in defense of our rights, our communities, and our values. Join us. Okay. I've got, just look, just for the sake of educating. Okay. Because it's, like I said, chaps my hide. Define did I spell it right? I might have spelled it wrong. We'll see. Define fascism. Okay. We're going to define fascism. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, universalistic political ideology and movement characterized by a dictator leader. Wow, okay, AI, I understand that you were fed this. Okay, I can read that you were fed this. Because it says historically fascism rose in the 20th century with notable examples: Benito Mussolini's National Fascist Party in Italy. Okay. I just wanted there we go. Okay. Fascism is a populist political philosophy, movement, or regime, such as that of the fascist, that exalts nation and often race above the individual, that is associated with a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, and that is characterized by severe economic and social regimentation and by forcible suppression of opposition. Okay. So broadly, a philosophy or system with some combination of fascist values and governing structures, tendency toward a actual exercise of strong autocratic or dictatorial control. Also used informally in an exaggerated way, like the city's ban on the use of trans fats and draconian restrictions on smoking, the new soda regulations, yet other installment of Jonah Goldberg, rightly termed liberal fascism. So you've got different variations of fascism. The word fascism and fascist have long been associated with fascistic of Benito Mussolini and the fascists, the bundle of rods with an axe among them, which the fascistes used as a symbol of the Italian people united and obedient to the single authority of the state. However, Mussolini did not introduce the word fascistia, plural fastici, with the 1919 organization of the Fasci di Combattuto, combat groups. I'm not even going to try to. Nor did the fasces have any direct connection with the origin of fasci in Italian. The word fascio, plural fasci, means literally bundle and figuratively group. From at least 1872, fascio was used in the names of labor and agrarian unions, and in October 1914, a political coalition was formed called Fascio Rivoluzionario di Azione Internazionalisti, Revolutionary Group for International Action, which advocated Italian participation in World War I on the side of the Allies. Members of this group were first called Fasti in January 1915. Although Mussolini was closely associated with this interventionist movement, it had no direct link with the post-war Fasci di Combattimento. And in 1919, the word fastia was already in political circulation. It is, however, to the Fasti in their 1919 incarnation, who seized power in Italy 3 years later, that we owe the current customary meanings of our words fascism and fascist. So sad. So sad. I thought, let me just walk with me a little bit. Bye. Yeah. Yeah, because I had, when I was going to college, there was a Federalist paper that Thomas Jefferson wrote. And it was one of those things to kind of remember it, like, oh, because it stood out to me because I was like, why would he be talking about, fascism or American fascists? So this was obviously done a long time ago. But I won't read all the way through it, but I knew that I thought that he had written something about fascism, like back in the 1800s. But thank you guys for, walking with me and entertaining my nerdism and wanting to look into fascism because it's used in a weird way when it's convenient. And sometimes, and in my opinion, the people that have been claiming fascism, they're actually the fascists. Just saying. It's just how you all move. It's how you move. Because I'm not about destroying my country. Now, here's the thing. If you don't like the way the country is being run, there's a way to go about getting change done. You run for local office or you petition respectfully those that are in office and bring them ideas of what you would like to see. But this violence and the rhetoric and some of the things that you guys are doing, some of these groups that I see, like Indivisible, like No Kings, you're not helping. You're not helping. And you're helping, but you are helping people walk away from the Democrat Party. I will say that. I will say that. Okay, so this is just talking about the lavish parade that's going on in DC, even though it falls on the same day as the anniversary of the Army, which he would like to celebrate. And we spend more money celebrating mediocrity in this country on very menial things. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The money that we spend in this country just to, celebrate any and everything is stop. So no one Elon Musk. block, delay, obstruct, no excuses. So Elon, if you're listening, they don't like you. Okay. I know you've had the spat with Donald Trump, and people have been on the fence back and forth about you, but they don't like you. They can't stand you because you like Donald Trump for like 10 minutes. And so everybody, you're like the ultimate ping pong ball, in my opinion. It's like they just keep throwing you back and forth depending on, your emotional position that day and what you want to do and deal with. I hate to say it like that, but that's what these people are. It's like, when you stand in a true position, you just don't move with the wind. And they move with the wind. Sorry. You can get training and tools from this site. But yeah, so this is indivisible, as you saw. They have ways to donate. This is a little bit about who they are. They're a grassroots movement, 1,000 local indivisible groups with a mission to elect progressive leaders, rebuild our democracy, and defeat the Trump agenda. Okay, I need people to realize that Trump's not going to be in office forever. So if you're building your organization just on that, what? Are you serious right now? Are you kidding me right now? This man's going to be gone in a couple of years. Where are you going to be at? What are you going to run at? We're going to, rebuild our democracy when we're a republic. Thank you very much. And defeat who? Who are you changing the name out with? Who are you changing the name out with? Because Trump's going to be gone in a couple of years. How are you going to build up progressive leaders? You know what progressive leaders have gotten us? The debacle you saw in California, the devastation you see in New York and Illinois, that's what progressives have done. No, that's what progressiveness does, people. It leads to nothing but destruction. Michigan looks like a bomb went off in it in Detroit. Come on. Progressive values, though. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All the progressive values. New York, gone. It's open air prison. Progressive values, though. Hey, that's what y'all done. That's what your progressive values have done. My goodness. Now, they made an announcement. Now, this announcement was back from May 6th. So I'm just really catching up to a lot of this. I know I had started my show May 5th. So I'm like, oh my goodness, all this stuff was happening, a month ago. I have to give it to them. They're very organized and coordinated. I will say that. And so this again is talking about, during Indivisible and Partners announced No Kings Nationwide Day of Defiance on Flag Day during Trump's birthday. So I don't know what else they're planning, but this was the press release that I found a little bit interesting, make it a little bit bigger. Here it said, and this is a Washington, D.C. Today, Indivisible and a coalition of pro-democracy partner organizations announced the No Kings Nationwide Day of Defiance on Flag Day, June 14th. The actions are set to take place during Donald Trump's military parade in Washington, D.C., June 14th. Instead of allowing this military parade to be the center of gravity, activists will make action everywhere else of the story of America that day. Now, again, I just told you that they are there to celebrate the 250th birthday of the Army, of that military branch of the four branches that we have. We have the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. Okay, we have four branches of our military. We're celebrating the 250th, but because his birthday is on the same day, it's like, no, it's about his birthday. It's about his birthday. So low IQ. You people are so low IQ. Like, I need you to get a hobby other than hating Donald Trump every day. Like, come up with what better policies do you have? Because allowing people to come over our border illegally, I don't like that. Saying that anybody that's born here on the soil has, claim to the 14th Amendment. I'm not down with that one either. No, not down. Try me again. Oh, you just want to give people things because they're here, even if they're not U.S. citizens. You want to use my tax dollars against me? Really? You want to give people homes and cars and loans and all of these things that Black Americans can't even get access to? And you want me to stand there and be like, this is great? No. No. I'm telling you no right now. I'm telling you no. So, alongside local organizers, partners, and leaders from across the pro democracy and pro worker movements, activists across the country will come together for marches, rallies, and demonstrations. To reject corrupt authoritarian politics in the United States. We have authoritarian politics. We do. When people hold you to the Constitution, they're authoritarian. When people say don't break the law, that's authoritarian. Really? Really? Y'all are wild. Y'all are wild. So, this mobilization is inspired by the success of Hands Off, a May Day, and is intended to once again motivate actions in towns and cities in every state in the country. Over 100 events have already been registered all over the country. Now, this was as of May 6th. Okay. And so they said more will be added. So I showed you guys that map, and then you saw the 4 red stars on that map. And that was from nokings.org, right? And I still left that up so you could see it. And I will scroll to it again so you can catch. Oops. I guess there it is. And so these stars here, I want to say that's Phoenix. Not sure where this is in Texas. That's Atlanta. That should be Charlotte, North Carolina. I can't even make out what's going on there. Okay, cool. Philadelphia. I was like, oh my goodness. And this is in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. Like I said, there's Atlanta. That's Charlotte. This is in Houston, and this is in Phoenix. And then these other blue dots are still areas where they're planning on going. So Donald Trump wants tanks in the streets and a made-for-TV display of dominance for his birthday, a spectacle meant to look like strength, but real power isn't staged in Washington. It rises up everywhere else. Again, this is not about his birthday. It just so happens that the 250th anniversary for the United States Army that he is intending to celebrate happens to fall on his birthday. Sorry that they, coincide and your feelings are in the way. Because this is, to me, all this stuff is about feelings. This is all emotional politics right now because you're really not giving me anything. You're using inflammatory language to get heightened emotion, but you're not saying anything. You're not saying, okay, these are the things that we intend to do to make the country better. Because guess what, progressives, your ideology and all of the policies that you want to have destroyed our country. You're the people who want men and women's sports. Yeah, that's a progressive thing. We don't want men and women's sports, period. We don't want them there because they're not women, they're men. Really? But this is what y'all are fighting for. You're fighting for that. And people don't want it. You're fighting for people to be here illegally. People don't want that. But that's what your organization is about. Tell me something that you want to do to help the country. That's all I'm saying. So on June 14th is also the U.S. Army's birthday. Thanks for bringing it up. A day that marks when Americans first organized to stand up to a king. Trump isn't honoring that legacy. He's hijacking it to celebrate himself. No, he's not. From city blocks to small towns, from courthouse steps to community parks, we're taking action to reject authoritarianism and show the world what democracy actually looks like. People united, refusing to be ruled. You're not under rule. We have a republic, because if you were under rule, you wouldn't have this right now. This press release would be shut down. Your little organizations that you get to talk about on YouTube will be shut down. Just saying, if it was authoritarian as you say, you wouldn't have any of these freedoms. Think about it. That's all I'm saying. You're entitled humans. That's what you are. This is bigger than politics. They defied our courts, deported citizens that were here illegally, by the way. They're not citizens. Disappeared people off the streets, again, deported illegal criminals, attacked our civil rights. Stop that. Your sexuality is not a civil right, period. Yeah, I'm able to translate all this stuff. Slashed essential services. No. That means people that were here illegally were removed from their positions. Stop it. There's no essential services in getting sex change operations. Stop that. Handed billions of dollars to their allies. Oh, you know what? Ukraine, okay, I'm in agreement with this. You can stop sending Ukraine a check. I'm on that one all day long. Yeah. I don't want that money being sent over there either. I'm okay with that. Enough is enough. We're not gathering to feed his ego. We're building a movement that will leave him behind. The flag doesn't belong to Donald Trump. It belongs to us. Really? Because a lot of the people that support you, they want to burn the flag. That's all I've seen. A lot of people that support you, they want to fly every flag but the American flag. Okay. This country doesn't belong to a king, and we're not letting him throw himself a parade funded by tens of millions of our tax dollars. Now it's your tax dollars. But it was okay to like squander tax dollars from American citizen for people's sex changes. Oh yeah, that was a thing. By the way. That happened. And it was okay to squander our tax dollars, like I said, to bring over illegal people. It was okay to squander our tax dollars to have men and women sports. Oh, yeah, that was okay. Oh, it was okay to have all of the parades that were had the past few years. Gotcha. So on June 14th, we're coming together to send one clear message: no thrones, no crowns, no kings. A core principle behind all No Kings events is a commitment to non-violent action. We'll see. We expect all participants to seek to de-escalate any potential confrontation with those who disagree with our values. Okay. And to act lawfully at these events. Weapons of any kind, including those legally permitted, should not be brought to events. Official partners of No Kings as of Monday, May 5th. Yeah, so like I said, it was something that I had recently come across because I came across No Kings. So just, I would say, be on your six, everybody, especially people here in Georgia. I read the list off to you where these events are going to be held. I will make sure to put it in the link when I do my repost of this program. But yeah, they are definitely coming to a town near you. And again, if we lived in such an authoritarian state, you wouldn't have the voice that you have right now. And this is the stuff that drives me nuts when people are like, yeah, we live under a dictatorship. And if you did, you wouldn't have this website. You wouldn't have been allowed to do the press release. You wouldn't have had any of these things. You'd be in prison right now if it was true authoritarian dictatorship. Okay. There are people that live under this for real in China. Okay. They disappear people all the time because of things that they put on the internet or the things that they might say or the organizations that they might lead. Yeah, they do that over there. Show me an example of where it's been done over here. And I guarantee you, the person that was disappeared shouldn't have been here in the first place. And they're probably back in their home country. Yeah. Yeah, y'all are wild. Y'all, like I said, y'all are wild. All right. But I did want to go into RFK, removing all CDC vaccine advisory committee members. That's pretty big. So, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy just removed all members of the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, according to an announcement on Monday. So, Kennedy stated that the committee had become a little more than rubber stamp for any vaccine, and that a clean sweep is needed to reestablish public confidence in vaccine science. The move was publicly denounced by various medical groups and personnel, including the American Medical Association and some members of the CDC. Of course they would, because that's all they've been doing is rubber stamping everything. You got called to the carpet, and you don't have to like it. Guess what? Because he's the head of HHS, and he can do exactly what he did. I don't care if you don't like it. Under your tutelage, I should say, under your leadership, we're in the worst place we've ever been. Vaccines have literally killed people and destroyed their lives. We have a vaccine court. It exists. But y'all were in charge, and now you're mad? Yeah. Lets me know that a hit dog is hollering. So ACIP compromises medical and public health experts to develop recommendations on the use of vaccines in the civilian population of the United States. So they're just recommending. Really? You're just saying, yeah, this is great. Okay. According to its website. So Kennedy has been critical of some vaccines as part of his Make America Healthy Again initiative. He most recently announced to halt the COVID-19 vaccine recommendations for pregnant women and healthy children in late May. Yeah, they don't need it. And what a lot of people aren't talking about is some of the pregnant women that had gotten those COVID vaccines, they died or they miscarried. Yeah, nobody talks about that, but that happened. So the Wall Street Journal editorial board, which is right biased, published Kennedy's exclusive commentary as an opinion feature on CBS News that leans left, largely highlighted criticism of ACIP's reform, as did many outlets on the left. Left-rated outlets also tended to highlight Senator Bill Cassidy, who's a Republican in Louisiana, and implied Kennedy promised not to alter ACIP. Fox News on the right focused on Kennedy's remarks and noted that all the current members of the committee were brought in under the Biden administration. Okay, I'm okay with it because, if he saw that they were rubber stamping it, then they were rubber stamping it. Period. This man is an attorney. He is an intelligent person. He's real smart. Like he took down Monsanto. He did that. And you can't take it away from him. He did it. So now that he's coming in and he's actually doing his job, this is part of his job to clean sweep these people. Not, oh, you're upset. But you know what? This lets me know exactly where you stand, Senator Bill Cassidy. Yep, you need to be out. If you are coming up in 2026 or 2028, yeah, we need to vote you out. You guys need to remember his name, Senator Bill Cassidy. Look into him and vote him out. Because, see, he's okay with things being rubber stamped for y'all. He's okay with it. Because he promised not to alter it. So are you for this rubber stamping, sir? Anybody lining your pockets? What investments and patents do you have for vaccines? That's all I want to know. Because usually these hit dogs that are hollering, you're hitting their pocketbook. That's why they're hollering. They're mad because they don't want their money messed with. This is about money. It's about people. You don't care about the general population. You do not care. Because, see, if you cared, You wouldn't be in politics over 20 years if you cared. But you don't care. That's why you're still there. You don't care. And a lot of people say, well, they're there to, make sure that they're doing their job for us. They're not doing their job for us. They are there to line their pockets. You do not need to be in federal positions of Congress, House or Senate, caring about the people. You don't care. You're there to make money and be a career politician. You do not care. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to close out the show with an article that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to hold it as a surprise when we come back on the other side. But thank you again for joining us here on Unfiltered Vision News. And again, I will see you on the other side.
The browsers of today are broken. They've been overtaken by a barrage of sneaky and annoying ads, trackers that follow your habits, and cookies that build profiles, and all sorts of other internet clutter that's taking precedence over the content that you want to see. In fact, these useless bites can take up to a whopping 50% of page load times, with a third of it anxiously trying to learn more about you. To make matters worse, some ad blockers are even letting ads through when large advertisers pay them. But do you really want a leaky ad blocker? It's because of these very reasons that we developed Brave, a new browser that kicks internet crud to the curb and makes it faster, safer, and better to surf the web than your current browser. With Brave, everything you need is built right in. We integrated technology that automatically blocks trackers, annoying ads, and shields everything that can cramp your style and destruct your privacy. With it, you can expect increased speeds nearly 2 times faster on laptops and up to 4 times faster on mobile. And unlike any other browser, Brave allows you to support your favorite publishers with automatic micropayments. So it's a win-win for you and your favorite sites. To top it all off, Brave is open source because we truly believe it's our web and we need to fix it together. So ask yourself this question. Do you want a web browser made for the internet of today? If so, try Brave. It's faster, safer, and ad-free.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining us here on Unfiltered Vision News, bringing you the news unfiltered Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern. And so I wanted to go over this article as we close out the show. So Education Department draws mixed reactions after labeling June Title IX month. Okay. I could see that because there are a lot of people that support the LGBTQ. And as we've grown accustomed, unfortunately, to June being Pride Month, and some people have pointed out when you put the words Pride and month a little bit closer together, you come out with the word demon in the middle, taking the DE from the last 2 letters of Pride and MON from the first 3 letters of month. And so people have how should I say it? Juxtaposed it or correlated it to demonhood. But in summary, the Trump administration has declared June as Title IX month, ignoring Pride Month, which usually takes place in the same month. So from the left, as writer of Pink News, which is left bias, argues that the move is a direct snub to Pride Month, highlighting that the U.S. Department of Education said that June would now commemorate women and celebrate their struggle for equal education opportunity. The article emphasizes the Trump administration's criticism of former President Joe Biden's extension of Title IX's anti-discrimination rules to include trans people, a move that was blocked in over 26 states, and called the move an attack on transgender people. Okay, a man will never be a woman. Not ever. A woman will never be a man. Not ever. We are born with specific biological differences, period. And on this one, the Trump administration got it right. Yeah, they got this one right. I like it. I don't like Pride Month because I don't like the degeneracy that comes along with it. I don't like seeing people walk around with a sock on saying that that's pride. I do not like it. I do not like seeing debaucherous behavior in the streets. It's disgusting. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I've got people in my family that, identify differently than I do. I've got people in my family that they practice their lives differently than I do. But they don't force me and they don't force it on me, okay, to believe it or be okay with it or none of that. But this community and this ideology that you guys have, the cult mentality of saying everybody has to be, basically bow down to your belief system is wrong. It's no. It's no. Title IX was created for women so that they would have a place of protection. And saying that a man is now a woman is defeating the whole purpose of it even being there in the first place. Yeah, so I need the people who have that belief system to really stop and think what they're doing. You're harming women. You're not helping. It's true harm. So from the right, a writer from the Daily Caller praises the decision, seeing it as a perfect way to combat Pride Month. The articles support the DOE's aim to honor women and girl athletes and applauds the administration's actions to reverse what is described as the Biden administration's undermining of Title IX. The writer views the move as a response to transgender athletes who are taking away opportunities from women, which they are because they're men. They are biologically stronger, and a lot of them have, more testosterone than women do. But these are the men who couldn't compete with the other men. That's all they are. They're losers. You lost. You couldn't compete with the other men out there, so then you wanted to take away opportunities from women and just say, well, I'm a woman too. No, you're not. You're a confused man. You're still a man. With all the body parts, you will never produce ovum, which are eggs, which women are born with. You will never have all of the body parts, no matter how many surgeries you have to alter who you are. You will never be a woman. You will just be a cut up man who's a eunuch. That's it. That's all that's the end of this rainbow. Which belongs to Christians, by the way. And it was meant as a sign from God that he would never again destroy the earth with water. That's what the rainbow is for. It is not to practice degeneracy. That's not what the rainbow's for. And we're taking it back. By the way, just letting you know, it doesn't belong to you. Find something else. Find another, I don't know, logo for your organization. But the rainbow is ours. It's not yours. And to anybody out there that's offended, good. I'm glad you are offended. You should be. Because somebody didn't tell you no. Well, I'm telling you no. There's a lot of people not strong enough to sit on the microphone or behind the camera and say, hey, this is what's right. This is what's wrong. I'm going to tell you right now. The rainbow doesn't belong to you. It never did. But you know what? Satan loves to live in confusion. He loves it, lives on it, destroys our lives with it if we allow him, but we don't have to. Okay? I stopped looking forward to the month of June because of the degeneracy that goes on in this month. But you know what? We're going to denounce it all over the United States. We're not putting up with it. The parades should never be televised. Arrests should be made for people that are out there in front of children half naked and doing lewd and lascivious acts. Your group is nothing more than degenerates. And that's what it is. And it's sad because there's so much more to live for than being in complete degeneracy. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And again, the rainbow belongs to Christians. That my God made that rainbow for me. And everybody who follows him, that's who the rainbow is for. It's not for you. It's not for your little, debaucherous activities. And if anybody out there doesn't like what I have to say, we can have a conversation about it. And at the end of it, I'm going to tell you plainly what the rainbow's for. It's not for the LGBTQ group. Find another logo. The rainbow does not belong to you. And the one that's that powder pink, that whole transition thing, that's not even what that's for. That's for pedophilia. That's another degenerate behavior that's in your group, by the way, which is illegal, which people should really start getting arrested for. Yeah, that needs to make a comeback. Pedophiles need to start getting arrested again. Make that, a good thing. But the reason why I'm going on this rant, the reason why I wanted to end our program today with that is because we need to remember who we are in this country. We are the citizens of this country, American citizens. And some of us are naturalized citizens. But people that are here illegally, you need to leave the soil. You need to go home. This is not your home. You need to go to your home. And then if you want to be in our country, you need to apply to come here legally, not illegally. To those that are in the Los Angeles area, I implore you, stop it. Go home. Because when you get arrested, and you will if you continue to, be on these streets, it's not worth it. It isn't. Go home. Because what you're telling us is you hate our country. You live in defiance of all of our laws. And you don't care if our nation falls apart. Like when I see the people on the street, that's what your protest is saying to me. Your protest isn't saying freedom. Your protest isn't saying that, we want better here in America. That's not what it says. It says that you want our government to fall apart, that you want California to be a failed state, which it is, a failed state. That's what you want. You want complete and utter debacle of the United States. And the weird part is, you don't even see it. You don't even see the destruction that you're a part of. And you don't care. To see flags that have the American flag and the Mexican flag like blended together. No. Your allegiance is to Old Glory. If you are here as a citizen of this country or as a naturalized citizen of this country, our allegiance is to the United States of America, the red, white, and blue. The flag, this one, not the Mexican flag and not any other flags. Period. You don't care about this country. And we know it and we see it. And we're ready for you to go home. We're ready for you to leave the soil. And that's what ICE is doing. ICE is making sure that people are safe, actually, that they are not living next door to murderers and rapists and human traffickers. Okay? That's what they're doing. I mean, you keep saying, oh, they're just removing families and this, and if they did remove a family, like I said earlier, that family might have been involved with some criminal activity around them. Whether they knew it or not, somebody was involved in the criminal activity, and that's why they got deported. And guess what the criminal activity probably was? They were probably a part of human trafficking or some type of cartel activity. But at the end of the day, they're still here illegally. I don't care what Joe Biden did. All of the executive orders and all these things that were put in place were treasonous because they gave aid and comfort to people who invaded our country. That is treason. I guess I'm going to have to pull up the Constitution tomorrow early in my program so you guys can see. We don't want people here in our country illegally. That's over. As Christians, we are taking the flag back. It belongs to us. It does not belong to the LGBTQ community. Find another logo. I don't care what it is, but it's no longer the rainbow. I'm telling you now, it doesn't belong to you. So remove it from all of your websites. It's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. Figure it out. Belongs to God and his sign to no longer destroy the earth with water. Okay? And with that, we're going to end the program. Thank you guys so much for joining me live on X, YouTube, and Facebook. I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe. And remember, stay well, stay focused, and stay unfiltered. See you guys on the next one.